What if your dungeon crawls tested minds as much as metal? Today we're infusing emotion into gameplay with Blades in the Dark stress and vice mechanics. In Blades in the Dark, characters are not just battling external foes, they're wrestling with their internal demons. They accumulate stress for the various challenges and pressures they face. To relieve this stress, they indulge in vices. Players roll dice based on their character's weakest attribute, and the highest roll determines how much stress is relieved. But watch out, it's not all roses. Overindulging in a vice has its complications, like attracting unwanted attention or becoming beholden to unsavory characters. And if you try to tough it out and ignore your vice, guess what? Your stress increases, reflecting the pent-up tension. Let's dive into an example for clarity. Imagine your party's rogue, Alara, who's navigating a treacherous trap-filled corridor. She fails her sleight of hand check to disarm a tripwire. Boom, that's 1 point of stress. Later, the party faces a horde of orcs, and Alara is knocked unconscious. That could be 2 more stress points right there. Now, they arrive at a fork in the road. One path leads to treasure, and the other to rescuing villagers. The party argues, tensions escalate, and Alara is torn between her greed and her conscience. That internal struggle? You guessed it, add 3 stress points. Let's assume that Alara had already had 5 stress points before this, so her total is now 11. During downtime, Alara decides to indulge her vice, shooting craps, to relieve stress. She rolls a d20, applying a negative modifier based on her lowest ability score, which in her case is Charisma. She rolls a 10, -1 for her Charisma, netting a 9. This allows her to relieve 9 points of stress from her stress meter. But what if she'd rolled higher than her current stress level? That's an overindulgence. Maybe in her obsession with shooting craps, Alara unwittingly ticked off a member of a secretive cult, introducing a new subplot or antagonist into the campaign. So, how do you incorporate this into Dungeons & Dragons? During character creation, have your players select a vice. This could align with their background or add an unexpected twist to their personality. Use downtime as an opportunity for characters to indulge their vices and roll for stress relief, perhaps using a d10 or d20 and basing the roll on their lowest ability score modifier. The risk of overindulging adds an exciting layer of unpredictability. Maybe the paladin brags too much and attracts a rival, or perhaps the rogue gambles away a treasured item. In Blades, the stress track typically has 9 boxes. Once you fill all the boxes, your character can't take any more stress and suffers a traumatic condition, which adds permanent disadvantages and narrative complications to the character. For your D&D adaptation, you might want to set a similar maximum stress level, like 10 or 20 points, depending on how granular you want the mechanic to be. Reaching maximum stress should be a significant event that drives both character development and plot progression. This moment could be the basis for a whole character arc or a side quest, as they seek a way to cope with or overcome the traumatic experience that pushed them to their limit. Stress and vice add a layer of psychological realism to your characters, creating opportunities for richer role-playing experiences. Overindulging in a vice can introduce unexpected plot twists, and a decision to engage with a vice during downtime becomes a meaningful strategic choice. So, Dungeon Masters, are you ready to add a little emotional complexity to your campaign? Trust me, the stress and vice mechanic will not just make your characters more human, it will elevate your storytelling to a whole new level. Until next time, roll high and role play even higher.